Welcome back to Next Bike World, the channel where we dive deep into the latest machines hitting the streets and trails. Today, we're looking at the 2026 Kawasaki KLX 300, a bike that's earned a reputation for being one of the most versatile and approachable dual-sport motorcycles on the market. If you're someone who wants a machine that can handle city commuting during the week, then blast through dirt trails on the weekend without skipping a beat, the KLX 300 might just be the bike for you. Kawasaki has kept the spirit of this motorcycle alive for years, and the 2026 version is sharper, tougher, and more refined than ever before. The first thing to note about the KLX 300 is its position in Kawasaki's lineup. It's not meant to be an extreme competition dirt bike like a motocross machine, nor is it just a basic road commuter. Instead, it balances both worlds. It's rugged enough for off-road adventures but smooth and practical enough for city riding. That makes it an ideal choice for riders who want just one bike that can do it all. Underneath the tank, the 2026 KLX 300 carries Kawasaki's proven 292cc liquid-cooled, docked, single-cylinder engine. This power plant is built on decades of engineering refinement and gives you reliable performance whether you're crawling over rocky trails or zipping down the highway. It produces around 27 horsepower and 20 pound-feet of torque, which might not sound massive on paper, but it's plenty for the lightweight frame. The engine is tuned for crisp throttle response, with the broad power band that makes it easy to ride for beginners while still satisfying experienced riders who want that snappy acceleration in the dirt. Kawasaki has worked on improving the fueling and mapping in the 2026 model. Throttle response feels smoother compared to older versions, especially in low to mid-range RPMs, which is exactly where dual-sport riders spend most of their time. The bike runs on electronic fuel injection, so altitude changes or temperature swings don't affect performance the way they would with a carbureted system. That's especially important for riders who take their KLX 300 up into the mountains or across long, varying terrain. One of the biggest selling points of the KLX 300 has always been its suspension setup, and Kawasaki continues that tradition with the fully adjustable 43mm inverted fork up front and a uni-track rear shock with preload, compression, and rebound damping adjustability. This means you can really fine-tune the ride whether you're tackling rocky trails, sandy paths, or just sticking to city roads. The suspension travel is generous, with 10 inches up front and 9.1 inches in the rear, giving you plenty of cushion when landing jumps or dealing with unexpected potholes. Braking power is handled by pedal-style disc brakes, with the 250mm disc at the front and a 240mm disc at the rear. The design helps with heat dissipation and gives a confident bite whether you're riding on pavement or loose dirt. Kawasaki has also included ABS as standard on the 2026 model, but the system is smartly tuned for dual-sport use. You can turn it off for the rear wheel when riding off-road, giving you more control during slides and technical descents. That's a huge plus for trail riders who don't want ABS interfering with their dirt riding techniques. Now let's talk about weight and handling, because that's where the KLX 300 shines. At just around 302 pounds curb weight, it's light enough to flick around tight trails without feeling like you're wrestling a beast. The slim chassis and narrow seat make it easy to maneuver, even for smaller riders. The seat height sits at 35.2 inches, which might feel tall for new riders, but remember, this is a dual sport, so you need the ground clearance to avoid smashing your frame on rocks or logs. Kawasaki did shape the seat to be narrow at the front, which makes it easier to reach the ground when you're stopped. Design-wise, the 2026 KLX 300 doesn't stray far from Kawasaki's classic dual-sport look, but it does bring a modern refresh. The styling is sharp and aggressive, clearly inspired by Kawasaki's KX motocross line. The new body panels and graphics give it that race-bred appearance while still keeping the dual-sport practicality. The LED headlight is a major improvement over the old halogen setup, providing brighter illumination for nighttime rides while consuming less power. Out back, the LED tail light is slim and stylish, keeping with the minimalist dirt bike aesthetic. The digital LCD instrument cluster is simple and easy to read, showing you speed, trip meters, clock, and fuel gauge. It's not overly fancy, but it's exactly what a dual sport rider needs. clear and functional. Some riders might wish for Bluetooth connectivity or a more advanced TFT display, but Kawasaki keeps the KLX 300 simple to keep the price down and the focus on durability. Speaking of fuel, the KLX 300 comes with a 2-gallon fuel tank. That might not seem huge, but thanks to the efficient engine, you can expect around 60-65 miles per gallon depending on how aggressively you ride. That means you're looking at roughly 120 miles between fill-ups, which is decent for most dual-sport adventures. Sure, hardcore adventure riders might want a bigger tank, but for everyday use and weekend trail rides, it's more than enough. Another unique selling point is how approachable this bike is for new riders. The power delivery is smooth and predictable, the weight is manageable, and maintenance is straightforward. Oil changes, air filter access, and general upkeep don't require specialized tools, which makes it friendly for riders who want to learn how to wrench on their own machines. And because it's a Kawasaki, reliability is practically baked into the DNA of the KLX 300. So what about the price? The 2026 Kawasaki KLX 300 comes in at around $6,499, making it one of the most affordable dual sports in its class. Considering the level of suspension adjustability, off-road capability, and on-road practicality you're getting, that's a solid value. Competitors like the Honda CRF 300L and Yamaha WR250R are in a similar ballpark, but Kawasaki positions the KLX 300 as a sweet spot between affordability and premium performance. Colors for 2026 include Kawasaki's signature lime green, along with the stealthy ebony black option for those who want something more understated. No matter which one you choose, the bike looks aggressive and ready for action. In the real world, the KLX 300 is a bike you can take almost anywhere. It's comfortable enough for daily commuting, light enough for technical trails, and fast enough to keep up on the highway. No, it won't replace a dedicated dirt bike if you're racing motocross, and it's not a full-on adventure bike with long-distance touring comfort. But that's the point, it's a machine that blends both worlds into one accessible package. For riders who want to unlock both the road and the trail without owning two separate bikes, the KLX 300 makes perfect sense. At the end of the day, the 2026 Kawasaki KLX 300 is not about extreme horsepower numbers or luxury features. It's about versatility, reliability, and fun. It's a bike that encourages you to explore, whether that means carving up city streets, heading down a gravel road, or discovering a hidden forest trail. For the price, it's hard to beat the freedom and capability this bike offers. So, if you've been looking for a motorcycle that won't tie you down to just one type of riding, the KLX 300 deserves a serious spot on your short list. It's light, tough, affordable, and ready for whatever you throw at it. Kawasaki has taken a tried-and-true platform and refined it for 2026. And the result is one of the most well-rounded dual-sport bikes you can buy today. Thanks for watching Next Bike World. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this review, and subscribe for more in-depth looks at the latest motorcycles hitting the market. Drop a comment below and let us know, would you take the KLX 300 for daily commuting, weekend trail riding, or a mix of both?